if you've got children and you're worried about, you know, spending a good amount of money on a table and then the children are going to spill food all over it or draw with pen all over it, it's a good, you know, it's a concern that it makes a lot of, you know, it's something that I'd be worried about as well. Now, it doesn't matter who spills anything on our Induro finish, whether it's adults or kids, it'll wipe off. So don't worry about spills and things like that. If a kid sticks a fork in it and scratches it, which has happened. In fact, we just delivered a couple of days ago a table back where a kid had scribbled blue pen all over the, stuck a biro in it and scribbled blue pen all over the end of one of the pieces. We just refinished the whole table back to new, and that's the benefit of using, firstly of using the finish that we use because it can be refreshed, but also using quality materials as well. If you've got a table that's made up, or any piece of furniture for that matter, that's made up of small pieces of wood that have been glued together, then that's not a table that can be refinished easily because it can destroy the joins within the pieces of wood as you try to refinish it, and in a lot of cases there might only be a very thin layer of wood there. All of our tables have got full length pieces of wood, they're called staves, and they're the full thickness of the table. So it doesn't matter what happens to the surface of that table. We can refinish it. Anyone can refinish it. It can always be brought back to new. Cleaning any of our wooden surfaces with the Induro finish on is really easy. You just get a cloth, wet it under a tap, wring it out, wipe the surface off. That's going to get rid of any marks that are sat on the surface. And then if you want the finish to last as long as possible, grab a tea towel and dry it off, and that finish is gonna. We've had tables that have been with customers for several years, and we've gone out to inspect them or do a bit of maintenance work for the customer, and have been amazed at how fresh that finish looks on it. What tends to happen actually is people will say, can you refresh my table? And what's happened is just the place that they've sat, that's had a lot of use, might start to fade, and that's just from heavy use where the people might sit in one corner of the table. The people that are living in the house full time will just use sort of one corner of the table, and from heavy use after a couple of years, 3 years, they might want that doing. But the rest of the table that's had spills, wipes up on it, off it many a times, it still looks brand new. If a table needs refinishing, if it's one of our tables, what we always say to our customers is send us some photos of it, because it might be something that we can do without even having to take the table away. If it's just the case of putting an extra coat of oil on it, we can do that. That's a service that we offer. We can do that in your house. If there is some patches that need doing, but also if it's got any damage anywhere that you want us to repair, what we'll do is bring you out a courtesy table to use. We'll install the courtesy table, we'll take your table away, do the refinishing work within a couple of weeks, bring it back to you, collect the courtesy table, and you've got a table back that's back to new.